The extra passenger. I thought it would be a normal night flight. I was tired, carrying my small bag, ready to watch a movie and maybe doze off. The cabin lights were dim, and most passengers were already settled in. I had my window seat, 17A, and as I slid into it, I glanced at the seat next to me, 17B. At first, I thought it was empty, but then something moved. A tall figure was sitting there, completely still, shadowed under the dim cabin lights. I squinted. Maybe it was my imagination. I checked my phone screen against the cabin lights. Seat 17B, unassigned. I blinked. The figure hadn't moved. Not a twitch, not a visible breath. I tried to ignore it, pretending it wasn't there, but the air beside me felt unnaturally cold. I could feel a pressure, a heavy presence. Around me, other passengers wore headphones, staring at screens, completely unaware. The plane began taxiing. The hum of the engines filled the cabin. I tried to settle in, tried to focus on my movie, but the seat beside me felt alive. Just slightly. A subtle shift in shadow. A faint crease in the fabric of the seat. I told myself it was nerves. That I was imagining it. The flight attendants passed by, checking boarding passes. Smiling and polite, oblivious. I leaned slightly, whispering to the person across the aisle. Hey, the seat next to me, 17B. Who's sitting there? They looked at me, confused. Seat 17B. Nobody's there. My stomach dropped. I froze. The shadow seemed taller, leaning forward just slightly, just enough to make my blood run cold. My hands gripped the armrest, cold sweat forming on my palms. I didn't dare look away. My peripheral vision kept catching the slightest movement, like a silhouette bending closer when I blinked. The cabin lights flickered. A soft, almost inaudible whisper drifted through the hum of the plane. I couldn't make out the words, but the tone was deliberate, almost playful, like it was aware I could feel it. I tried to focus on the movie again, but the presence beside me was impossible to ignore. I could feel it pressing closer, closer with every heartbeat. I whispered to myself, "It's just nerves. It's just nerves." The plane took off. The steady hum of the engines grew louder, echoing through my chest. I glanced at the other passengers again. Everyone seemed normal, calm, unaware of the invisible threat beside me. Minutes passed, or maybe hours. I could no longer tell. Every time I blinked, the shadow seemed to lean just a fraction closer. My phone slipped from my hands. The glow of the screen lit its outline for a brief second. A tall, featureless form, leaning over toward me, silent.